Hello, my name is John McClellan. I did an analysis of the chairs, the local seating and seating areas to where I live near, um, the ASU campus and some other areas that I visited while I was out and about during my spring break. Information was collected about 5 seating areas that I'll be going through and quantified pretty subjectively uh, based off of my personal experiences with these objects and some opinions of people I spoke with that used them as well, some friends, family. The first is the outdoor cafeteria seating arrangement at the Memorial Union. Um, Here in this photo, you can see I have an image of some of the tables outside the north side of the Memorial Union near the cafeteria area, um, along with a crow that joined me for lunch while I was there that afternoon. First, the Memorial Union for comfort. I gave it a score of 4 out of 10. Um, the seats, they're slightly slanted to be ergonomic for the sitter, but they're very rigid. They're made out of solid uh, metal, so there's not much comfort there, but there's certainly worse seating we'll get to later. Second, the environmental impact. Environmental impact of these seats, they certainly degrade over time, um, and you notice that they've been rusting, and so it is something that's certainly contributing to the the, the environment um, in a negative way. And the whole seating area is pretty large and ineffective, um, and there's a bit of a waste of space in the area. Safety-wise, the seats are very sturdy. There's no sharp edges. Everything's rounded, but they're hard, and so and obviously chairs can be tipped, but there's nothing inherently unsafe about these chairs. So I gave it a 7. Next, sustainability. I gave it a 6. Again, the sustainability of the chairs. Um, they're not, inherently bad for the environment, but they're sort of, environmentally costly to make, being made out of metal, um, a non-renewable resource uh, that, obviously its processing has some effect on our environment. But it is something that lasts a while and will maintain. Social impact, I gave a 7. Um, the Memorial Union is a big area where lots of people come together around campus. They enjoy lunch and meet with people, and so it is has a good social impact on the community of Arizona State University. Functionality, I provided a 6. The seats do what they're supposed to, but a lot of the tables are small, um, and spend a lot of the time, a lot of the day sitting in the sun, even with those umbrellas. And so often you won't see that many people sitting outside for much of the year, and making the seating sort of useless. And then aesthetics, often, uh, the wall arranged in a grid in a way that makes sense. A lot of the tables are crooked, but not necessarily very appealing. So aesthetically, I gave the MU cafeteria outdoor seating a 5. Seat 2, this is at a local business park uh, down the street from my apartment. They had a little picnic area out in the parking lot. For comfortability, I gave it a 5. The seats are curved, but they're still very hard. They're not great to sit on, but they're better than what was at the Memorial Union. Environmentally, I also gave this a 3. Um, it's in the long term, it's not really great for the environment to have these seats, but they will last a while. But that is also the downside in environmental factors. Safety, I gave it an 8. The benches were covered in rubberized coating, and they're all round edges, except for some of the corners on the table itself. But it is, slightly padded, nothing sharp poking out. For sustainability, I gave it an 8. It's 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 well treated. Um, its layout is it's rubberized. It's weatherproofed. It's something made to last a while. There's no signs of rust or any degradation. Social impact, I gave it a 3. These I've never actually seen these picnic tables used in the times I've been by them, and it's a perfectly fine picnic table, but I've never seen it used. I don't know. I've never seen anyone that works at the local business come and eat lunch out here. I've never seen people meet here, and so it is very low social impact. Functionally, I gave it a 7. It serves its purpose very well. It provides a place to eat lunch outdoors uh, with an umbrella out of the sun. And then aesthetically, I gave it a 6. It's bright yellow, stands out a lot in the area. It's very unnatural, so sort of sore on the eye sitting there. But um, in isolation of the environment it's in, actually looks pretty nice. Our third is a bus stop bench. And other than having refreshments come along with it, I believe that's a big gulp I saw when I went to this bus stop. Um, Sort of does a horrible job at what it's there for. Comfortability wise, I gave it a 2. Doesn't get much more uncomfortable than this. It's just a flat piece of metal. Any leaning back you could do with the wall is sort of interrupted with a pretty large structural pipe about head height that you bump your head on. Not a comfortable bench whatsoever. Not made for humans to really sit on. It's, it's environmental impact a 3, much like the two benches prior for similar reasons because it's made out of metal. Um, Safety wise, I gave it an 8. It's very safe design. It's hardly off the ground. There's no way for this to fall over. And so it'd be almost impossible to get hurt on a bench like this. Sustainability wise, I gave it a 6. Bus stops often grade, uh, and they're not really great for where they are. Not so much because of the bench itself, but really the environment it creates with lots of people traveling and going through at this location because it's a point where people transport across town. Social impact wise, it's a 1. There's no real reason why seating needs to be here at a bus stop. It could just be standing, but no one goes to the bus stop to talk to other people. The seating has no social impact. Um, if there are multiple people at the bus stop, I doubt the bench would even be shared if someone was sitting at it, unless they were there with someone they knew already. Functionality, I give it a 7. The purpose of the bench is to have a place for people to sit waiting for the bus. During the day, there's usually 30-minute intervals between buses, and so if you miss a bus, you'd have to wait half an hour for the next one to show up. And so it fits the purpose of letting someone waiting for the bus wait for 30 minutes. Obviously, it's not going to be the most comfortable thing ever, but it's not the longest wait in the world. And aesthetically, I gave it a 4. Bus stops are never very aesthetic. Usually they're very dirty and sort of out of the way. Um, it provides shade to the people waiting. I think that's important. It's part of the functionality of it. But uh, bus stops sort of they take up some real estate on the side of the road where people would be walking by. 4, obviously there's lots of local fast food places that have outdoor seating, and so I choose our local Taco Bell picnic bench. You can see here, I gave the comfort a 1. Um, I'm a pretty tall guy myself, and I don't fit in benches very well, but um, the seats on this bench, they're fixed, and they're just set too close to the table where it's uncomfortable and cramped. And the curved nature of it closes your legs in. It doesn't give you a lot of freedom for where you're sitting, uh, unless you're sitting on the seat improperly. Just overall, very unpleasant experience. Environmental impact, I gave it a 5. Um, that it's the tabletop and the seats are made you out of a form of concrete. Um, it's pretty sustainable. I mean, it has pretty low environmental impact, but obviously there's still a process to making this bench. It still has features metal legs. Safety wise, I gave it an 8. Very safe. Everything's round. It is, a very hard surface, like the other benches, and so it would hurt. But there's not anything, you know, inherently dangerous about this bench. Sustainability wise, I gave it an 8. For what it is, it's made out of rock, uh, like much of the rest of the desert. And so, maybe not completely local, but, when it does return to Earth, per se, it will much be like the rest of what's around it. And it's very durable. It'll last a long time. It would take a lot to, you know, require this table to be replaced. Social impact wise, I gave it a 4. Tables like these are used very often. Um, you know, as gathering locations when the weather's nice outside. Local food areas, but again, it's not inherently a social call. You'd be meeting people for food there, but it is something that's used. Functionality, I gave it a 6. It does its purpose, provides outdoor seating, not very greatly. It doesn't have any inherent shade other than what comes from the building next to it. And then aesthetically, 3, it's ugly. It doesn't look nice at all, but you can see from the concrete pads it's on, it's not a very clean place anyway. So it honestly fits in with what's around it. Finally, I have an image of this amphitheater, and comfort-wise, I gave it a 2. Much like the bus stop, it's just a bench. Uh, if you're sitting on it for a while, it's gonna hurt your butt. And often as the purpose of an amphitheater, you spend a lot of time sitting on a bench at any given moment, probably 45 minutes to an hour. Environmental impact wise, I gave it a 7. Long term, there's not really a lot of impact this amphitheater has. It's been designed to take into account local erosion of the area and doesn't require uh, much. It doesn't have a massive impact on the environment around it. Safety of the bench, I gave it a 5. These benches, they're being made of wood, often have splinters, have exposed screws and bolts, and they have sharp edges. So lots of surfaces that someone who wasn't careful could be injured on. Sustainability wise, gave it a 2. These benches often need their boards replaced, and so there's constant maintenance that is required on this. They don't last very long. It needs to be fixed very frequently, often destroyed. Social impact, I gave it a 9. Inherently, this amphitheater is for social activity, it's for shows, brings lots of people together. It's a great social location, social seating area. Functionality, I gave it an 8. does its purpose. It provides lots of seating for many people, directional to a stage. And then aesthetically, I gave it a 7. It's very symmetrical. It looks nice. It's impressive in the area. And so obviously wear and tear wouldn't be a perfect score, but overall as a seating area, it's very nice. You have a great view of area around it, and it doesn't, inherently degrade from the area by blocking anything or being in the way. As my analysis of the seatings I saw during my spring break. Thank you.